episode of Ignite Your Power, the Kathy Mou Podcast, the space where we talk all things about self-love, self-care, about living the BS life, which we'll talk a little bit more about later, and stepping into your highest power. Today, I'm so honored and happy to have Sami Garrett here, a mom of two, community builder, and the beautiful soul behind a passion project turned purpose-driven business that's changing the way mothers feel seen, supported, and empowered. After experiencing postpartum challenges following the birth of her second baby, Sami realized there was a major gap in support for moms. And instead of staying silent, she turned her pain into purpose, which is so beautiful, and we'll dive in. But what started as a desire to create a safe space for mamas has now become a thriving community where women feel connected, heard, and equipped with the resources they need to thrive, not just survive. So, this episode, we'll talk about what it means to truly ignite your power after a difficult season, how Sami found joy in building something that doesn't feel like work, and how she's become a living example of the bliss soft life, the concept that I came about. And so, whether you're a mama, a dreamer, or someone looking for that spark to follow your heart, you're going to love this conversation. So, Sami, if you want to say hi.
Hello. So excited to be here with you all.
Yeah, thank you for being here. So, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, your beautiful family, and what life looked like before you stepped into this mission to support moms?
Yeah, and thank you so much for that beautiful introduction. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, we actually, I know as entrepreneurs or solopreneurs, especially heart-centered entrepreneurs, we do so much because we're so passionate about it, but then we never fully explain what we do. And then when someone else says it, you're just like, Dang, that's right. So I love giving such a great and powerful intro because usually the people that come on here are heart-centered entrepreneurs that are passionate about what truly ignited their power. So yeah, tell us your story.
Okay. Oh my goodness. This could like take up the entire
Love it.
time. So I will sum it up for us. Before all of this came about, before Gem came about, Um, my husband and we love traveling. So we traveled all over the country. We lived in a camper. Like really, I've had a zest for life since I can remember. And I think a lot of it, we'll just like dive right in. Is that fine?
Yeah,
Like
let's do
if
it.
people don't know me, I'm about to share some stuff, but
Yes.
I had a very traumatic childhood. So at a very young age, I remember thinking, I'm going to turn 18 and can I swear?
Yeah, go
Okay.
for it.
And I was like, I'm going to have a beautiful fucking life. It's going to be amazing. And I remember like claiming this at, I don't know, maybe 8, 9 years old. So like fast forward, going to college, all of this, like there has just been so much joy, so much purpose, so much just like enjoyment in my life. So I wanted to transfer that when we started to have kids too. So we traveled around, we found a place we loved, and then we wanted to start a family. And I was like, I'm so excited because our kids are gonna like have this like desire to enjoy life and just to experience it and to feel like their passions and like all of this stuff, and super excited and dove into learning about what motherhood is because I did not want to be what my role models were. And I didn't know how to be different because I didn't have anything different. So I went down the whole rabbit hole of like mindfulness and inner healing, inner child work. And then that went into like child development, child psychology, our brain, like all the things, and got really prepped and had beautiful pregnancies, beautiful births, beautiful first postpartum. But then my second postpartum was incredibly challenging. I had this rage that was so scary and just like sparked, just like boom, it was there. And I was like, oh my, like, what the fuck is this? Like, I don't like it. I don't want to scare my daughter, like all of these things. So and we live in a very small town, no family around, really, like not a lot of friends either. So not a lot of support. And postpartum with the second, I have a newborn and a toddler, and obviously husband who also has to go to work, and everyone's in this new environment, all learning this new life and all of this. And I was very depleted and realized that I had some inner child work that I hadn't dealt with yet. And so I spent I'd say maybe 6 to 8 months coming out of this survival mode and like learning how to heal myself and work with my nervous system and really step into the mom I want to be, because I do not want to be that angry mom that gets mad over like little things.
Yeah.
And I know that there are ways that you don't have to be overwhelmed and you don't have to be depleted and you don't have to feel guilty, all the things that are normal, like,
Yeah.
or common and normal, like don't have to be. So when I went on my little path, my little journey, I came out of it and was like, we have to advocate so much for ourselves already as moms. You don't know what you don't know. A lot of times our healthcare providers don't tell us what we don't know. They just, you
Mm-hmm.
know, you'll figure it out. Like you'll be fine, which yes, sure, you'll figure it out. You'll be fine. But I was like, there's got to be more, because so many of us just live in this like depleted state. So that is what sparked me on my journey to have like this ultimate resource library where moms could just come in and find whatever resource they need to help make motherhood easier and more light and have more joy, because we only have one motherhood. Our kids only have one childhood. Like we're not going to get a repeat, and we might as well enjoy this life before we die. So
Oh, I love
yeah,
that.
here's my little story.
I love that so much. But how did you know that you had to start working on your inner child or certain things? Like, where did you find these certain resources? Did you reach out to friends or family, or you just kind of did your own research and just found certain things that kind of popped in your lap for you to work on and understand?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think because before I was pregnant, I did a lot of mindfulness work. I also went and became a yoga teacher, did like the yoga teacher training for obviously for a while, dove more into meditations, fell in love with active meditations, fell in love with creating meditations where you could like jump to your past, jump to your future, like really playing with the mind. I love the imagination and the power of the brain. So I learned that stuff before getting pregnant. And uh so while I was in it, I was like, I know that there is a meaning for this. And so I did a lot of my own research, just because that's usually how I roll with things, especially if I don't know something. I'm just going to go and start reading lots of books and listening to podcasts. And um so I started taking it really started though. I started taking an hour for myself. Like my husband would get off work and I was like, I don't want to be this way. I had a conversation with him and was very open and was like, I don't want to be the angry mom. I don't want to get mad when my older daughter hits my younger daughter. I obviously don't want her to hit her, but I don't want to react the way I'm reacting when she's doing something very developmentally appropriate. Like she should be doing that. And then my response is not an appropriate response. So I need to take some time to like figure this out. And literally just like the hour by myself helped me realize that I was in a deep state of depletion, and being able to have some time to myself let me start thinking. And so that is what I guess sparked that I needed some more inner child healing. I was thinking, I get really mad at my oldest daughter, who's 2 years older than the baby. I'm 2 years older than my sister. I remember being 2 years old, having a sister, feeling replaced, and then getting in trouble all the time when I'd get frustrated and like I'd hit my little sister. And I remember like just everything's playing out. And I was like, oh my gosh, like this is this deeply rooted fear that my daughter is going to be labeled all these like mean things because I was labeled those things. And so that's what kind of ignited it, was having that space to think about what all this meant, instead of I I don't like to call it like a band-aid, but there's a lot of practices and tools. Like when you get angry, you can like take a breath or do these things to like help you calm back down and come into a safe space. But then you need to have those tools all the time for all those triggers. But if you can like get in and dissolve the trigger in the first place, then you're not reacting, and you don't need those tools as much. So I really wanted to dig into healing it from the root cause instead of just finding like a band-aid to tame the fire during the moments.
That makes so much sense. Thank you for sharing that and being
Mhm.
honest and vulnerable about that because I definitely understand exactly what you're talking about. And I don't
Yeah.
have to yet, but just having a one daughter and
Yeah.
seeing how I used to get mad at her for not understanding certain things. And I'm like having these high expectations. And then it's because my parents had high expectations from me. And I was like, whoa, 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 this is way too much. Like, I do not want to have the same things that I had to go through. And I
Yeah.
don't want that to put it on my own daughter. And so I've been learning how to learn to reframe certain things instead of just attacking like what we're used to. So that's beautiful. That's a lot of inner work that needs to be done. And I loved how you say, and yes, you can always use those tools, but might as well just go into the deeper cause and just get rid of that. That's so much easier. I love that. That's brilliant.
Thank
Because
you.
when you're always taking the tools trying to diffuse the fire, it's like exhausting after a while. You're like, okay, I just got no more water to diffuse this fire anymore. Like,
Hmm.
I'm over it, or having to do it constantly, all the time.
All
But if
the
you
time.
go, well, maybe not directly into the fire, but you know,
But it's so true. And
I feel like
think about you're like super stressed and you're like, yes, I know how to handle, let's just say mother-in-law, because I think mother-in-laws, I think a lot of people can relate to that. But like, okay, I can handle, I'm gonna prepare, I'm gonna mentally get ready, I'm gonna get my tools and my tool belt so I can go have dinner, this family dinner with my mother-in-law, and I know she's gonna say something and I know it's gonna trigger me, and then I know I'm gonna have to step away to the bathroom and I'm gonna have to do this. How cool would it be if you could go have dinner with your mother-in-law and be like, cool, she can say whatever the fuck she wants to say and it's not gonna bother me.
true.
So, yeah. And I love that you're doing like you're recognizing and like conscious of that too, because I think that's what causes a lot of our like distress and disease is not recognizing why we're getting so angry or frustrated or overwhelmed or anxious or guilty or all the things.
Yeah, I'm guilty of this because I was just so like done with it after having a miscarriage in September, and then I had a spiritual coach reach out to me, which I've worked with her in the past, and then she's like, "Dude, let me help you. Let me just help you out." Like, she helped guide me. Yes, I needed a coach to help guide me and realize how my thought process is at that moment in time and to dissect it and then try to find new tools or ways to diffuse the fire. And so sometimes it does take an outer person from your world to give you new perspectives. And there's nothing wrong with that? So that's why
Yeah.
I feel like coaches are so important in that sense because yes, therapists are great too, but coaches help guide and lead you, which is a little bit more different than
Yeah. For
therapist.
sure. They're like empowering. Like I love to think about empowering you to empower yourself. Like I'm
Yes.
not here to give you answers. I'm here to help you empower yourself. And then you feel so good. And
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Yes, that's the big difference. Did you work with a coach or did you do this work all by yourself? Because it's doable to do it by yourself. It's just a little harder because doing
Yeah.
inner child work is hard. I'm not gonna lie. It's like, going back to when you had those traumas, you're like feeling those feelings again. You're like, I just
Yeah.
feel attacked. Like,
Yeah.
you know?
Uh, yeah. So I did it all on my own.
Cool.
I didn't start like working and speaking with coaches until after I came out of it.
Oh
Uh,
my God.
so there is hope for people who are like, I can't afford a coach or I'm too embarrassed or whatever. Like I have some little tools that can help, especially with the inner child healing and when those big emotions come up. I mean, I obviously am not going to say everyone's different. So like I like for me, I totally understand the power of the mind and how our nervous system speaks through our subconscious and through our emotions and all of that. So when these really big feelings came up, I could speak to it there without having to have someone else. But I know that not everyone is like that. Like it totally depends on where you are, in your knowledge base, I guess, and
Yeah,
confidence within yourself. So
true. I love
yeah.
that. What can you share some of your tools with us, like what you
Uh,
kind of do on a daily basis or what you did at that time? Whatever you feel comfortable sharing, but
yeah.
what are your
I
favorite?
think one of the biggest things that I would say to myself, so I read the book, oh my gosh, it's called No Bad Parts. It's IFS. Have you heard of IFS, Internal Family Systems? So I read this book and I was like, oh my God, love this. Like, love the way this modality works. Essentially, to like sum it up, it's we have a lot of parts inside of us. So, like sometimes if someone's like, hey, do you want to go out to dinner? And you're like, maybe you talk to your spouse and you're like, part of me wants to go to dinner because I miss them, but part of me wants to stay home because I want to stay in my sweatpants and just cuddle and watch Netflix with you. So
Yeah.
then you're kind of torn. So that's like a very simplified example of IFS, but you have two parts and they're like conflicting because one wants to go, one doesn't want to go. So like, how can you communicate with both of those parts? So I read that book and that really helped me realize that all of these little parts are coming out and that it's okay. And when if big feelings did come out, I would let them, like the body needs to still release them. Like it's not all mine. Like there's somatic and body, there's energy work, there's like a lot involved in it all. But one of the easiest things that for me that really helped was just telling myself, I've got you, I'm here with you. Because all these other parts are like, you could almost think like trapped moments in time kind of a thing. So you think about inner child wounds and very specific events that happened, and like that child like is stuck in that time frame, which is usually like a kid who needs a parent to survive. But like me as a 36-year-old don't need a parent to help me survive. So even just reminding myself like, you're safe and I'm here with you, I've got you, is like, oh, there is someone there to hold all of these different feelings and emotions, and then can help me walk me through kind of the reason and the meanings that are put behind a lot of inner child work, or mainly like triggers. Like all of this comes back to like, why are we getting triggered, to like figure out what meaning we're placing on ourselves, or the fear of a label getting placed on our child. But like there's always a deeper meaning. So being able to be like, okay, I know there's a deeper meaning. My like nervous system is telling me there's something off, there's something wrong, something is not in alignment. So let's get curious about it. I think that those are a couple of my, I mean, I could go on and on. We have a whole section inside Gem 2 that goes into all of these in more detail. But those are some of my favorite quick ones. Like if you wanted to do the work yourself and let yourself feel this, to just
That's
remind yourself you're safe, you're with yourself, and to just recognize that it's all just information trying to tell you how to get back into alignment with that like pure essence of yourself.
Oh, I love that. Thank you for sharing that and in depth because honestly, it does take awareness. But if you're not understanding how the whole process works, like you explained it so perfectly that people can start understanding and seeing, like, oh, what are these patterns? Oh, okay. Like, oh, this is normal to feel a certain way or to have these feelings and to understand how healing really does work because a
Yeah.
lot of us don't want to do the inner work and we're scared to.
Yeah.
But then once you do it, or someone like you who has healed themselves, and you can explain your journey and like what it
Yeah.
does feel like. It may be different for somebody else, but at least you've been through that, and so you can help guide and lead them into that. So thank you for sharing that.
You're
Yeah, it
welcome.
takes a lot of work, but it's doable. And you're that pure example of, okay, you can do it yourself. You read a book and then you put it into action and you just reflected and was like, whoa, what is this telling me?
Yeah.
And you work through it and you're like, okay, this is from my childhood. And you're just like, I don't want this narrative anymore. So bye, thank you, release. And then, you just keep on going and you keep on
Yeah.
going and you keep on learning.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's beautiful. I love that so much. Yeah, so I know you were talking about Gem, right?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
that's
Oh, yeah.
your is that
Yes.
your platform where
Yeah.
people or moms find resources? How did that name come about?
So it's Good Enough Matrescence, shortened to GEM. And
Oh,
yeah, and so matrescence being that journey into motherhood that starts pretty much the second like you want to become a mom. or the second you become pregnant. So it like really kind of depends, because there's some people who do try to conceive for a while and they consider themselves a mom. Like they want it so badly. So they're literally like biologically on a cellular level, like chemically changing. And then like the second you become pregnant too, like you're never not your pre-pregnant self. Like you go through puberty and you're never not your pre-pubescent self ever. So it's the same thing. And then it just continues to evolve because you're pregnant, then you give birth, then you have a newborn, then you have a toddler. Maybe you get pregnant again, maybe not, like, but it, and then every time you're the child continues to develop, so does the mom. So matrescence is literally just that entire journey through motherhood, but on every level. So yes, the psychological level, the biological level, the all of the ological levels. Uh,
Yeah.
and then I had good enough in the beginning as a way of encouragement of we're just aiming to be good enough. You don't need to be perfect. Perfect is unattainable anyways. It's an unrealistic expectation that adds more pressure. And like Jim is all about the ease, like how easy can it get? How fun can it get? Like how much can I enjoy motherhood even during the shit storms? Like how can I still try to make this fun? Or like how can I be upset at what's going on because it's a real difficult challenge, but not suffer? Like pain is pain, but suffering, you don't have to suffer. And so good enough really represents being good enough and even finding beauty in all the mistakes, because we can grow. And in doing that, we model to our children how to make mistakes and how to repair and kind of just how to flow in life with all the ups and downs. So that's what good enough matrescence means. And yeah, I shorten it to Gem to make it easier.
I love it. That's actually just a side note is my daughter's nickname, Gem, because her name is Gemma. So
Oh, I love that.
it's aligned, it's connected, right? See,
Love it.
Source works its magic in beautiful ways
Yeah,
all the time.
it's so magical.
I love
Oh,
it. So how do people get onto the platform, or what's on there that makes it so different or helpful than other platforms or other resources?
yeah. So first, I would say that it is it's different in the sense that you don't have to come in and follow a roadmap. It's really come in however you are right now, whatever you need right now to support you to make life easier and more fun, or if you need answers to something, or if you want to heal, like whatever it is that you want to do, you can come in and find those resources in a very empowering way. So I found that there's a lot of groups out there that are like, we're going to cure, specifically, I'll just say, like, especially for rage. Like, you could go to anger management classes, but pretty much there's this tone of like, you're a shitty person because you're yelling and we're going to fix you, versus like, you were never broken to begin with. You're angry and it's telling you something like, are you depleted? Are you overwhelmed? Do you need help? Do you have unrealistic expectations? What is the reason that this is happening? You're not broken. Like, none of us are broken. Just everything's trying to tell us something. So it's a very empowered, uplifting community where all of us, like, yeah, you can cry, you can be upset with yourself for something, or you can cry or scream or whatnot, but the undertones are still very much like empowering and I guess like in a freeing kind of way. And then it's also different in that I really set it up to be like a library and co-op. So you can come in and you can find little bite-size chunks of information, and it's divided into fertility, pregnancy, birth, fourth trimester, beyond the fourth trimester, and then anything related to children. And you can come in and listen to guest experts that come on and do like master classes and Q&As. There's also cheat sheets and different downloadables and guides, things like that are more kind of like books, I guess you could say. Like, you can come and like read a book. And then there's also the co-op aspect where if you, let's say you pee when you laugh and you're like, I don't want to do this anymore, you could jump into the 6-week Restore Your Pelvic Floor course. And like that then is a course, but you don't have to do, nothing is like a have to. It's all like, I get to, I choose to, like, what would make life a little bit easier right now? So then we have things like that, like different nervous system regulation modalities that you could jump in and learn, little love notes, encouragement, different reframes for all sorts of different areas in motherhood. And so, like, yeah, so the co-op then has like more in-depth things that you can learn and work through. And then there's the community where you can just show up and be your raw self and just be like, I'm so tired today. Or, hey, what's like your favorite kid book for gardening or whatever? And then we can talk about that. And we have virtual meetups. And yeah, that's pretty much how the frame of it goes. But yeah.
I love it. That's so cool. Why do you think that community is so important for motherhood or for people in general?
Oh my gosh. I So this could go really deep. I used to be an anthropologist and an archaeologist, what I went to school for. It's like I could dive in on this question forever. But to sum it up, we need community. As a species, we need community. It means survival. And so even though we have grocery stores, we have internet, we have all of these things that keep us alive, like our little primal brain is very much wired for community and staying a part of the tribe. And like the second you're not a part of the tribe, it literally means death for your nervous system. So community is, and you know, consciously you're not like, oh, if I don't have any friends, I'm going to die. Like you don't think that, but like your nervous system subconsciously does think that. So community is really important for that aspect of just the felt safety of the nervous system. And with that, also that community aspect of being able just to relate to someone where they can hear you and feel you and see you and validate you and support you. That also helps us feel really safe. And plus it's fun. Like we'll add the fun part too, because it's really nice. And it's fun to be able to have friends and community that you can lean on, that you know support you. And especially if you feel safe enough and excited enough to show up as yourself, where you're not censoring what you might say in fear that it's said wrong or someone's going to disagree with you, but really being able to show up as yourself and have a community to support you in that is like, it really is vital. Like, okay, sure, you won't die if you don't have it, but like you will probably have more anxiety, have more guilt, have health issues, like physical health issues. Like there's a lot of other snowballs of not having a community.
That makes so much sense. Thank you for sharing that. That's what I truly believe too, because I have a little community myself that I created. It's called Blissful Beauties Ascend, and I believe that coming together, being your authentic self, is how you're truly going to live like a blissful, soft life, which is my
Yeah.
concept. We'll dive a little deeper, but
Oh yeah.
it's truly being just you and what makes you you, right? Like the spiritual aspect of you, which we all have, and just the quirkiness of you or the weirdness, which is actually a great thing. But as a kid, we're taught, or as a community, we're taught you need to be all the same. And if you are, different in a sense, then you're weird. And I'm like, no. And my sister was talking to me. I know it's kind of tangent, but she's like, oh my God, Love on the Spectrum is out again on Netflix or something. And I was like, dude, I love that show. But it shows how these people are so authentically themselves. They do not care what other people think, and they get to live a true, authentic, like,
Yeah.
life. That's what I really feel. And I'm like, sometimes I wish I was on the spectrum because then I wouldn't have to care about what other people think. That's
But
most of
it,
my battles, right? Or like
yeah.
perfectionism or what people think of you and people pleasing. It's like that's taught within me really, really hardcore. And that's a lot of inner child work that I've noticed and that I need to get over and done with. But
You
right,
could,
most of the society, right? We
yeah,
we deal with that. And I'm like,
yeah.
I want to be on the spectrum, so they just care about themselves. And like there is this guy who just like kissed his girlfriend and was like, "Oh my gosh, my heart is racing." Like he just like was so in love, like they feel emotions hardcore. Like if they're
Yeah.
not liking something, they're like, "All right, peace, bye," and they just
Yeah.
leave.
Yeah. Oh
But
my
they
gosh.
do what's best for them. Why can we not do that?
We can. Oh my gosh. And here's a trick to help
Okay.
with that.
Good.
That I love doing. I don't know how long I've been doing it, but I love doing it. And I think it's so powerful. And I mean, it might not be powerful for everyone, but we can all totally do that. And my favorite way to do that is think from like your inner grandma. Like, okay, fast forward. You're like an old wise lady who just does not give a shit anymore. And you're looking back like, okay, so I really cared about what the grocery store clerk was going to say. I don't even know the person's name anymore. They're not a part of my life. And so even just like thinking, I'm caring about like what this person, what this other mom at the park is thinking about my clothes that I'm wearing right now. Like, is she looking at me? Do I need to be self-conscious? Like, is my inner grandma gonna remember this moment and be like, yeah, she totally was because like your outfit was ridiculous? I mean, maybe your outfit's ridiculous, but that's because you think it is, not because she thinks it is. And so
Mm.
like kind of just putting yourself in, okay, channeling my inner grandma, like she's gonna want to tell me like live your life, enjoy it, feel all the things, and these people that you're worried about aren't even in your life anymore.
Yeah.
So I don't know,
Really,
I love that. It helps me a lot just to be like,
I
am
love
I still gonna know you in 50 years? Like maybe. The thing is though, if I do still know you in 50 years, you'll know all my quirks, and so I can be myself. If I don't know you in 50 years, then who cares?
I love that. Thank you for sharing that tool. You're giving us a lot of amazing tools and tips today. Like, you
Oh
know,
my
I really got to go check out Gem. Your Gem, not my Gem, for all these
her
amazing.
along. We've
Seriously.
got some kids yoga in there. She might enjoy that. So she can
Woo,
bring
fun.
that on there. Yeah,
That's
I do. Yeah, I have a whole, there's a bunch of stuff going on in there.
that's so cool. I've been into yoga lately because I used to lift weights. I
Mm,
used to love that.
yeah.
But I'm trying to slow down and like have my immune system kind of just
Yeah.
my nervous system like,
But
and so I've been doing yoga and I'm loving it. It's actually more like quiet time. Yes, it's less intense than like, lifting weights, but I love it. And Gemma has been doing some yoga moves with me. She's like, look.
oh,
I know.
that.
I know, it's so precious. So how do you actually juggle being an entrepreneur or mompreneur and then having your kids at home? Like how do you balance that out? Because it's hard. It's not easy.
It is hard. And I think a big part of it, and I know I've talked to you about this was before, is that I never really considered
Yeah.
myself an entrepreneur or even a mompreneur. Just like
Yeah.
this was just an outlet for me to get the stuff that I've learned and find other information and bring it together for like almost like as if I was creating this for friends or my future kids. Like I throw a lot of reframes in there because as they grow older, what if I'm not here? Or, I don't know, like who knows what will happen in the future. So as I'm going through and processing some of this stuff, and as I like realize that, oh, we feel this way and we can reframe it this way, I'm thinking, I can't wait to go and like record that or like put a program together around that so that my girls in the future have that and then I can share it with my friends. And so that's kind of how it came to be. And so the energy behind it is very much that. I don't feel like I have to do it. I get to do it and it's fun and I want to share it. And so I think that's where I I I know I told you that I feel like an entrepreneur means like I work these hours and time chunk these hours and I'm with my family these hours. And sometimes it's just very fluid and it's both. Like maybe I have a spark and I like quickly write an email while my kids are playing, but maybe I'm playing with them. And then I wait and do the email when Josh gets off work. And that's when I go and do like work kind of a thing. So it's kind of just fluid for me.
Love it. No,
Yeah.
that is amazing. That is all like what everybody should be doing. And it's your mental. Like the way you reframed it is so beautiful. And that's making me think about how I show up and how I need to reframe it better.
Huh.
And
You don't
that's,
need to. You get to if you want to.
yeah, but the way you said it, it just, even when you say you get to, it still doesn't change something in me. But the way you
Yeah.
said it, it's for your children. Like
Uh,
it just gave me chills. Like I am doing all of this for Jem. Like I'm really starting my business, showing her like I can start something from my passions, which as an Asian American girl, like definitely our paths are already set. You're supposed to go to
Become
a
a
really
doctor.
great school, right? And then like go to college and then like you're either a doctor or a lawyer or something in finance, and that's it. Those are your choices. Like anything creative or out of the blue is like, no. And so I'm literally doing something out of the ordinary from my
Yeah,
whole family and starting something new
I
and
love
putting
it.
myself out there. And yes, at times it may be hard and it's challenging, but the way you reframed it was like you get to do this
Yeah,
because it's for your friends and family and it's
yeah.
for your
And for me, I guess, in a sense. But yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
but that ignites your power to like really truly be passionate to do
yeah,
this work, which doesn't feel like work. And that's
yeah.
exactly what the BS life is all
I
about.
know. I love the BS life. It's
Thank
so true.
you.
Yeah.
I
And I
know.
love the BS life too. Like, even thinking about, like, I've thought about this a lot. Like, most moms,
Yeah.
like, will spend hundreds of dollars on their kids, but they won't buy themselves a new bra, which
Mm,
is like a fraction of the price. Like, we have this in us that like to be a good mom, we have to like pour everything into our children and give our children the best lives possible. But really, to do that is to give yourself the best life possible because your kids are watching, whether you have girls or boys, they're going to watch what their parents are doing. And so it's
true.
almost like the best reason to live a life that you want them to live. And it's just like a twofold for it. So yeah, I love that you're like, yes, we're Asian American and we don't have to do the the traditional Asian American
Yes.
way. Yeah.
Yes. And I want to know or make sure she knows like you can do anything possible and I'll be there to love and support you no matter what. And obviously have some wealth for her to like, create some generational wealth so she doesn't have to fully like 100% be like, oh, I need to survive. And
Yeah.
obviously I want her to make her own money one day, but I don't want her to be like the only thing of like survival mode. Like I am in lack, I'm in fear. I just like, right, most of us are stuck in that mode.
Yeah.
I know I struggle with that. Our generation has to struggle with
Yeah.
that because
Yeah. For
definitely
sure.
our parents struggled with that for
Yeah.
sure. And
Yeah.
my parents were immigrants, so obviously I saw that as a at a young age, growing up. So I'm like, no, I don't want her having that. Obviously they'll kids will have their own lessons, their soul
Yeah.
lessons, but what can we do? And I love how you said that. Like mothers, we have to treat ourselves better than how we treat others around us, because if we don't treat ourselves as well, then they other people will see that, especially your kids. They will be suffering because you're suffering.
Yeah.
Just because you give them all the candy and TV or whatever it may be, but still what you set up for examples is what they see,
Yeah.
right? Because they
100%.
will still have those really bad, say, traumas or examples like what you said in the beginning. You're like, yeah, my parents didn't teach me all this stuff growing up. I had to do it on my own. Like same thing. I had to do it all on my own. I mean,
Yeah.
or I find coaches or resources or whatever, which you have set up. And the BS life is about self-empowerment, self-love,
Yeah.
self-care. It's all about self first. And in
Yeah.
order for you to really truly live a bliss soft life, it's all about empowering yourself. And that's why I love your platform. It's all empowering moms to like be the best version of themselves.
Yeah.
Have those resources to figure out what works for you, what doesn't. We're all different, you
We're
know?
all different. There's no one right way to mother. It's just like your way. And like sometimes maybe you want to copy someone else to see if it works for you. And maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. And then you switch. And then what's really cool, I like, and one of the members had said this to me too, that she was like, oh, it's like a grocery store. I like come in, I get what I need, and then I can just save the rest for later. And she was like, the reason I joined GEM is because it felt like a place for all of us. Like, it doesn't matter your belief, it doesn't matter your style. Like, you can flow in and out of, I don't even know all of the mothering style names these days, but like you can flow in and out of them or pick, you like to have organic food, but like, I don't know, you also live in the city and don't grow your own food. I don't know. But just so she had said that she loved the fact that you feel supported and empowered, even if we're not all doing the same thing. And I think that's another thing that most mother groups, like you find a genre, a
Yeah.
type of motherhood group, and you fall in line with that. And then you have that like fear of, if I don't agree with what they're saying, I don't belong, which again, nervous system wise is like death. So if
Yeah.
you're in a place where you're like, well, I don't agree with that, but I do agree with that. I'll try that. I don't like that. That feels great. That doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
And be able for everyone to be like clapping for you regardless. Like, I don't know. That just like
Yeah.
feels so good.
Yeah, that's amazing. I totally believe in that. I feel like we are such a complex soul being. So how is one particular way exactly the way for you? It's like exactly the way for that one person who made that group,
Yeah.
right? But it
Yeah.
doesn't mean like everybody else should be this way. And this is what I feel like that's what school has taught us to do, our school systems, right? If you
Yeah.
don't learn like this, you're behind or you're dumb.
You're gonna
Exactly.
make it. And
Yeah, that's
yeah.
what I was told, right? Like
Yeah.
I could not memorize as fast as my twin, and I just that's just me growing up. I just never learned the way like everybody did. I did not exceed in school. I just hated it. And
Were you
I had,
forced to do cumin too?
yes, of
Me
course.
too. Yeah.
See, it's like no, that didn't help me. It's like memorizing. Again, I'm not good at memorization. So you're telling me to just stand there and just, well, my parents made us stand there and just memorize
Oh, yeah.
multiplication tables. And I'm like, no, I can't memorize this. My twin was like, boom, memorize it quick. Okay, done. I'm out the door. And I'm like, no, I cannot. I'm just
Yeah.
frustrated. It's not how I
Oh,
learn, you
yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So just like school, we are so
Yeah.
complex. We're all so different, but it doesn't mean like one way is the right way. So I love how your platform is exactly that way. It's so beautiful.
Thank
So
you.
what kind of support did you wish you had as a new mom, and how do you now offer that to others through your platform?
I think the biggest support, so brand new mom with my first, I
Mhm.
think I wish that I had support of being able to speak what was on my mind and have someone say it was normal. Specifically, like I remember a time when I didn't get too frustrated with my daughter, my oldest one, but I do remember a few times just being completely overwhelmed. My boobs hurt, my nipples were chapped and bleeding. Like they hurt. I cried every time I breastfed for like 6 weeks straight, just like trying to do it one more time, trying to do it one more time. And I I remember thinking one day like I like just want she was crying and she wouldn't soothe. I couldn't get her to settle. My husband couldn't get her to settle. She was just crying. And I remember being like, I just like want to just like throw her across the room. I'm so frustrated. I didn't, and I was never going to, but I had that thought. And it's a thought that I would never say out loud. Granted, I'm saying it out loud right now, but I wish that I had support where I could say, like, this is how I'm feeling, and not even necessarily in a therapeutic setting, but just real talk with like your best friend kind of a thing. And where your best friend's like, yeah, dude, I get it. Like,
Mhm.
me too. Let me tell you about the time I thought this, or let me tell you about this time. And then having that support too of like, so yeah, breastfeeding at first was really difficult and I was determined to do it and I did it. But most of the stuff that you see, people are like, "Oh, if it's not working for you, don't do it," which is fine. If it's not working for you, don't do it. But it like was working, but it wasn't comfortable. It hurt, but in my mind like I am going to continue to do this because there is milk. It just hurts. So I think having like some support around these are your goals. Let's help you attain those goals instead of just switch to formula or just switch. Like, I mean, nothing wrong with formula. If you want to do formula, that's great. But just having a support system, then if you want to do formula, to have someone be like, cool, this is what your goals were. This is why your goals were there. If they change, cool. But if they don't, here's some support to like help you through that. And then the second postpartum, I think the biggest thing um, would be the not fully understanding how much life would change having a toddler and a newborn and how everyone's life is changed, and we're an adult with a full grown brain, but the toddler is not. And so they're going to have reactions. You're going to be depleted. Like I was depleted and didn't have support. So I think having support in that sense would have been really nice. So we do have inside Gem. Like I'm working with this lady who is amazing with delegation, and she has a platform to help you find housekeepers, babies, or like nannies, chefs, like support that can come in and help you anytime. Like it doesn't have to be strictly postpartum. Like it could be, you could have an 18-year-old and want that stuff, but vetted resources that you can just like hire in. And then also built in, as it's growing, there's chapters. So like in my area, I could find other Gem members, and we could do like a swap, or like, can you come over so I can go and take a shower? Or do you want to just come over and have a cup of tea so we can talk? And then inside you can always talk to all the members. So kind of that support of, this is my goal. How can I get there? Because when I do a Google search, it tells me to just give up, or it tells me the worst case scenario. Like I have, I don't know if you've heard of her, Dr. Trill. She's a molecular biologist who specifically speaks to protein in breast milk and infant reactivity, for like breast milk formula and food. And like she started because her children had really bad allergies, and her doctor was like, well, your breast milk's killing them. And she was like, what? And like they had bloody stools and like all this stuff. So she has her whole story, and it made her jump into studying this. And so like I've had her come on, and she has an entire platform to help moms figure out what exactly is your baby allergic to. Like, why is there mucousy green stools? Why are they vomiting? Like, let's get to the root cause of this. Where if you just do a Google search, it'll just tell you like, your formula is wrong, your breast milk is wrong, but no solution. So I think having that kind of support of, this is my goal, what kind of professionals are in here, or mom, other like just peer support can help me reach my goal where I can still have fun and enjoy motherhood. And yeah, there's an issue, but let's handle it without being like a victim to everything. So yeah, that was a very long answer. I apologize.
That's amazing. I love that. You find solutions for moms. And it sounds exactly like what I need, because as a mom who overproduced milk, I literally made so much milk that
You
Gemma was
don't even
choking.
know. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
she was choking on it.
Yeah, that was mine too. And she would like vomit because she was eating too much. And like I would just hear, oh, you have a laundry baby, because she's growing and she's sustaining. You just have a laundry problem, baby. Like you just have to change laundry all the time. But then like you dive into it and you're like, oh, like there are things you can do to help, because they're uncomfortable. I'd be uncomfortable if like someone
Yeah.
was like, not that you're purposely,
Yeah,
like
exactly. But
hoarding
I
it.
never found real solutions on how to like really help with that. And I'm
Yeah.
a mom that, or a person, like if you're a person that's so determined to know that there's like this feeling inside of you, like, oh, I know there's an answer for it, but you just can't find it. So that's where Gem comes, right? Like that's where
Exactly.
you're
Yeah.
like, intuitively I know, and then whatever I have or the resources that I have are
Yeah.
not giving that to me, and you're just kind of like, fine, I did what I can do at this point. But Gem is literally like a place where you can find answers for moms, which is so
Yeah, and
amazing.
quicker, because like you could spend hours and hours and hours and digging and reading and listening and reading all of the scientific reports and going deeper than the abstract, but like you're also a mom who like wants to enjoy life, and why not have resources and tools? Like I just love the idea of just like thinking, I'm resourced as fuck, that like I don't need to know everything. I have trusted
Yeah,
people who know this stuff, and I can just like get with them.
that's
Find
amazing.
the answers.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that so much. Man, I'm so excited. I really want to like go check this out and join
Yes.
and be a part of this amazing community.
Oh
So
yeah.
for any mama listening right now feeling stuck,
Yeah.
lost, or just exhausted, what's one thing you want her to know?
That it's okay first. It's you should like, I think that's a really powerful thing. Like literally whoever's listening, if they're feeling exhausted, you should like just see how that feels on your body. Like you should feel exhausted. and you should feel depleted. And like whatever is happening in your house, like it should be. And it just really takes that pressure off. So now you can say, okay, how can I like creatively adapt to this? Because I don't have to continue to feel this way. It makes sense that I am. And now how can I create like of a small pocket of like peacefulness or self-connection, like small micro pockets throughout the day. Like how can I just start to make it a little more fun and a little bit more easy? That would be my like biggest game changer to start the ball, getting it rolling, to start seeing like a change. Because obviously, like, you could just say like, yeah, it makes sense that you feel that way, and it doesn't have to be that way. But okay, cool. So how can I not make it that way when like you don't have hours to completely change your life? Like, so just these small little micro pockets of, when you're bathing your kid, can you put your feet in the bathtub with them and just notice how the water feels on your feet and the warmth? And or wash your hands extra long under warm water, or make that cup of tea. Or like when your child is doing something, can you just like look at them for a couple of minutes and just notice like, oh, I've never really noticed like your hair color kind of shines interesting there. Or tell yourself, like, one of my favorite things to do is to put my hand on my heart and say, like, close my eyes and kind of check in and be like, what is it that my heart needs right now? And
Mm.
just listen. Like, maybe it's 5 minutes out in the sun. Maybe it's to turn on an audiobook. Maybe it's to be like, I'm turning on the TV for 15 minutes so that I can do something. And just like checking in those little things. So yeah,
Oh, I
I would
love those tips. I love them so much. And I love you so much. Thank you so
say
much
you.
for all your insights, your wisdoms today, and all the amazing tools you gave us. Like, I'm so honored to have you here today. Like, this is so good. And you're giving such great resources, and your mission is so amazing. Like,
Thank
where
you.
can the listeners find more about you, and how can they even start joining your community?
Yeah. So on Instagram, it's at Good Enough Matrescence. And then online, it's at Good Enough. No, it's not an at, not with online. Sorry. Rewind. It's goodenoughmatrescence.com. Sorry. Yeah, goodenoughmatrescence.com for the website to join the community. And then, yeah, on Instagram at Good Enough Matrescence. And then I'd love to offer your community too a discount too for listening. And I'll type you up the code so you can add it or
Yeah,
whatnot.
I'll put
The
all the links
other
in the
things.
description below. That's perfect. Thank you so much. Oh, it
Yeah.
was such an honor to have you today, and this is so good. And I can't wait for the listeners to connect and join your group, or all the mamas out there that need the extra support, or the community. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Thank
thank
you
you
so
so much.
much.
It's been such an honor. Thank you.
You're welcome. We're gonna have to have you back on.
Yeah, love it.